So I'm not the first person to say this. It's very similar to people saying They Live as a documentary. The same should be said of Idiocracy. I can't watch that movie anymore because you go out the door and that's what you see. I was looking at some fat bastard on the bus the other day. All I could see was the back of him the entire time. He was wearing platform Crocs. There were multiple fucking colors. He looked like he was a fair weather hippie. And when he stood up, this giant bastard was wearing a mask to top everything else off. And it wasn't shocking. That was the worst part. Welcome to the internet. So here's Tucker Carlson. I've barked at the idiot that runs this holistically. I guess maybe it's holistickyle, but either way, he's a twat. And I haven't watched this video yet, but I do see Tucker Carlson, and I see a narcissistic reaction video from some stupid cunt in the bottom right. What did I say about Idiocracy? And are any of you picking up what I'm putting down before I show you what I typed out? Oh, and I should do this because the internet will just jump somewhere else randomly. You know, taking the control out of the humans, arena and giving it to the AI or the algorithm or however you want to think of that. Here we go. I'll shut up.
If you live in certain parts of this country, rural areas particularly, you know people who have or who have had Lyme
I'm pointing
disease.
at the screen
Some
too.
percentage, it's totally life-destroying. So what is that exactly? Back in 2008, a woman called Chris Newby produced a documentary about Lyme.
Some infectious disease doctors, they don't believe in Lyme.
It's hard to digest all of this. It's just so evil.
I met a CIA black ops guy who said in 1962 the weirdest thing he'd ever done was dropping poison ticks on Cuban sugarcane workers. That was Operation Mongoose. That was the first evidence that we had dropped ticks on a foreign country as a bioweapon. And then the other thing is, one of my filmmaker friends went out to Willy Bergdorfer at the very end. He said, yeah, when I investigated the Lyme disease sickness in the early 80s, there was another organism there. It wasn't just Lyme that was making people sick. It was.
Oh my God. Yes, our masters have conducted biological warfare. I don't disagree with them altering ticks or other insects and doing shit like that. The stupid fucking music that was embedded in this video takes all the credibility out of it. Mind you, this stupid cunt staring at the screen on the bottom right takes all the credibility out of the information being presented. But more importantly, there's Tucker Carlson. So why would anybody circulate this? Because people don't research, they repost. Lazily, you could just click, regurgitate, and it will just pop up on the fucking internet. I mean, be shit out again by the internet. So I said Tucker Carlson, Tucker is controlled opposition. We live in a day and an age where anybody can film a video and edit it effortlessly. How many apps do you have? How many applications do you have at your fucking disposal? And yet, this is being circulated. How come somebody circulating a controlled opposition asset, instead of working out what does and doesn't reflect reality and producing the latest content on their own? That's a poor way to put it. The same shit that I've already complained about in this video. Long story short, complacency got us this far and people are lazy and stupid. And then some. And then some. What do we see in here? One person left a social engineering sticker. And yeah, Plum Island is a dark, dark fucking place, among other things. And that's where a lot of this shit was cooked up in a lab. That's what most signs point to. There are a bunch of bargain bin, again, controlled opposition. That's one way that you could think of it. What I should say is maybe documentaries that are in place to bend the truth, to throw you a couple bones, to mostly mislead you. And these are the things that will crop up on the History Channel and now online. It wasn't always the case, but now predominantly speaking, what you're going to see in terms of quote-unquote information has run through so many fucking hands, it's not in place to benefit you and I, and people are not thinking about that fucking fact. Instead of doing the legwork, They're just falling in the lockstep and playing follow the fucking leader, which means the information is getting dragged through the mud. That's why I'm complaining. Tucker's a horrible fucking person. No one would circulate shit with Tucker in it if they were using the brain between their ears. But people aren't doing that. This should bother you. This should bother you. But most people probably tuned out instead of tuning in. What the fuck do I know? And here's this dumb fuck. If you look at how many people are following him, he's misleading them by example. And he's not censored by the algorithm because he is misleading people by example.